In a bustling kingdom where traders, musicians, and performers gathered, there was one man who stood above the rest, Varun, the greatest magician in the land. Dressed in flowing robes adorned with golden stars, he dazzled crowds with his impossible tricks. He made fire dance in the air, turned cloth into silver, and even lifted himself above the ground. The people clapped and cheered, shouting, "The greatest magician of all time." But pride filled Varun's heart, and he sneered at the simple folk. "None can match my magic," he declared. Among the crowd stood a poor farmer named Rohan, who watched silently. He had no riches, no powers, only wisdom. But soon, fate would bring him face to face with the proud magician. The next day, Varun performed again, and once more, the crowd roared with excitement. But as the applause faded, Rohan stepped forward. "Great magician," he said, "your tricks amaze us all. But tell me, is your magic stronger than life itself?" The crowd fell silent. Varun smirked. "Of course. There is no magic greater than mine." Rohan smiled calmly. "Then I have a challenge for you. If your magic is truly unmatched, make a single grain of wheat grow into a golden harvest before sunset." The people gasped. Varun laughed. "Foolish farmer. That is no challenge for me." But as the sun began to sink, he would soon learn a lesson he never expected. With a dramatic wave of his hands, Varun chanted ancient words. A burst of light surrounded the tiny grain, but nothing happened. He tried again, still nothing. Sweat formed on his brow as the crowd watched in silence. "Rise! Grow!" he commanded, but the seed remained still. Rohan sat patiently nearby, watching the magician struggle. As the sun moved lower, Varun's frustration turned to desperation. He had turned water into wine, stone into gold, but he could not make a seed grow. "Why is my magic failing?" he muttered. Rohan finally spoke. "Because true magic is not found in tricks or illusions. It lies in patience, hard work, and nature itself." Varun scoffed. "A simple farmer speaks of magic? Do you claim to be greater than me?" Rohan chuckled. "Not greater, just wiser." He bent down and carefully placed the grain into the soil. To grow food, one must nurture the earth, water the seed, and wait with patience. He poured water over the soil and covered it gently. The people watched, curious. "But that takes weeks, even months." Varun snapped. "Exactly," Rohan replied. "And that is the magic of life itself. No trick, no illusion, only time and effort." The crowd murmured in understanding, but Varun refused to accept defeat. "There must be another way," he growled. Even as the sun dipped lower, Varun's pride would not let him accept the truth. "A mere farmer cannot best me," he declared. He tried one last spell, calling upon the wind and sky. The earth trembled slightly, but the seed remained unchanged. "You see," Rohan said gently, "no power can force life to grow before its time." The people nodded in agreement. The proud magician had been humbled by a simple truth. But instead of learning, he turned away in anger. "This proves nothing," he shouted. Yet deep inside, doubt had begun to creep into his heart. Days passed, and the kingdom soon forgot the challenge. But Rohan returned to the same spot every morning, watering the seed and caring for it. One dawn, a tiny green sprout emerged from the soil. Rohan smiled. "This is true magic." Varun, who had secretly watched, felt something stir within him. He stepped forward, kneeling before the plant. "It is real," he whispered. For the first time, he saw something beyond his illusions. A small, living miracle, born not of power but of patience. Rohan placed a hand on Varun's shoulder. Now, you have seen the greatest magic of all. Humbled, Varun stayed with Rohan for many days, learning the ways of the land. He planted seeds with his own hands, felt the soil between his fingers, and understood the quiet power of growth. No longer did he boast of his magic. Instead, he marveled at the wonders of the world around him. "I spent years chasing illusions," he admitted. "But this is true magic." Rohan smiled, seeing the change in his once proud rival. The people rejoiced, for the greatest magician had finally learned his most important trick: humility and patience. Word of Varun's transformation spread across the kingdom. A great festival was held, where both magic and farming were celebrated. "Both illusion and reality have their place," the king declared. "But wisdom lies in knowing which to use." Varun performed his tricks, but now he did so with kindness and laughter, no longer seeking to be the greatest. And at the heart of it all stood Rohan, the humble farmer, who had taught a proud magician the greatest lesson of all. White medium star moral of the story: true magic is not found in tricks or illusions, but in patience, effort, and the wonders of nature. Always respect the simple truths of life, for they hold the greatest power. If you loved the proud magician and the poor farmer, don't forget to like and subscribe to World of ToonSeries for more magical stories full of wisdom and wonder. Glowing star.